Check, check. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Back to the Langley Event Center with the second of a PACWEST soccer doubleheader at Willoughby Park between Langara, the host club, and the VIU Mariners all the way from Nanaimo. The first match in the books, VIU women continue their surge towards the top of the table and a playoff bye as they took care of business 3-0 against the Langara women. But now it's time for the men. Top of the table, Langara, only one loss so far on the campaign. 13 points, 3 clear of Capilano. They welcome VIU, bottom of the table, 1 win, 1 draw, 4 losses, good enough for 4 points. And of course, both these clubs met each other a couple weeks ago with Langara coming from behind to take a 2-1 victory. David Rodriguez Zagara earning Athlete of the Week honors for his 2-goal performance there. One from opening play, the equalizer, and then the penalty kick to take it over the top and get 3 points for the Falcons. Langara last weekend, 1 win, 1 draw against Douglas, and 2 clean sheets, which did earn their keeper Zion Clark Ishmael Athlete of the Week honors in Week 3. VIU, meanwhile, 1 win, 1 loss against Capilano. Charlie Smith had both their goals in the first win of the season, a 2-1 result over Cap. Let's get you the starting 11s as the teams assemble at pitch level for the visiting VIU Mariners. In net, Marco Illich. Outfield, number 2, Benedict Horvath. Number 5, Thomas Grez Kazuki. Number 6, Marshall Dadsey. Number 11, Liam Howe. Number 14, Maxwell Dadsey. Number 15, Joseph Hare Goss. Number 17, Declan Brown. Number 20, Adam Hopper. Number 23, Ashton Bryant. And number 24, the aforementioned Charlie Smith. The head coach for the VIU Mariners is Kevin Lindo. The league leading Langara Falcons, meanwhile, in net, athlete of the week, Zion Clark Ismail. Outfield, number 4, Zion Adlam. Number 2, Kobe Monty. Number 6, Hikaru Omura. Number 7, Kazuki Nakanishi. Number 8, Tainer Bajgare. Number 10, Shinsuke Iwasaki. Number 13, Dante Tallarico. Number 19, Taigo Shimada, who was on the score sheet as well last weekend. Number 20, Yujin Monome. And number 23, the talismanic Peruvian wearing the captain's armband, David Rodriguez Zagara. Number 23, reigning coach of the year, to accompany his reigning champions, is Mark Rizzardo. The VIU Mariners are in their classic white strips with white socks, jet black shorts, and black lettering, piping, and numbering. They're playing from left to right on your stream. Langara, meanwhile, head to toe in orange, usually in their familiar all-white or their familiar blacks with a little bit of orange trim. So orange is one of those Falcon colors, but today it takes on a different meaning as we approach the National Truth and Reconciliation Day. Langara are wearing their Snualith Lelum uniforms, and of course Snualith Lelum was the name given to Langara in 2016 by the Musqueam people. Snualith Lelum, meaning House of Teachings, and it references the advice given to a child to build their character and guide them into adulthood. So lots more meaning behind the traditional Falcon orange today, as National Truth and Reconciliation Day is just about upon us. So a nice little nod from the Falcons and the Musqueam people as well. Snualith Lelum. Underway here now. It's a pacey opening couple of minutes, with the Langara Falcons playing from right to left on your stream, looking to show their early intent in the VIU half. If you remember a couple weeks ago when these two clubs met right here at the Langley Event Center, it was actually the Mariners who opened the scoring. It was James Upshaw with a pinpoint header. Unfortunately for the Mariners, they won't have Upshaw in the lineup here today. He's a scratch. Charlie Smith is their leading scorer, but their number 10, Brian Bland, he's also been in on the goals this year as well. He's a scratch today as well, so they're missing a bit of attacking flair, are the Mariners, who at times this season have really struggled to score goals. Good play here from Langara. Shimada cuts inside. Bajgare has a shot right-footed. Kind of a hopeful effort there from Bajgare, but he tries his luck from about 18 yards out. First half chance goes the way of Langara. It's a funny Mariners squad, I will say that. Their record doesn't reflect their quality. 1 win, 1 draw, 4 losses, but all of those losses and draws and victories have all been tight games. They're always in the mix, bashing it about on these 1-goal games. Unfortunately, they just have struggled to see it over the line. But upsets can happen in this league. They did turn over Capilano 2-1, and the Capilano ladies actually got a result against the VIU ladies, which seemed like an impossible task when you just looked at it on paper. So that's the reason they play the games here in the PACWEST. Any club on their day can go ahead and get 3 points, and that's why the Langara Falcons have to be on their absolute best behavior when they welcome these VIU Mariners to town. Langara entering the CCAA rankings today in the number 4 spot. Bumps them up 2 spots. They were in the number 6 spot in week number 3, so good jump in position there for the Falcons. VIU unranked at the moment, as they were last week as well, so another bit of incentive for the VIU Mariners, the men's squad, to try and get themselves into the win column and get themselves a wee little ranking there in the CCAA. Good play there by, it was actually Benedict Horvath who had to kind of hurdle a challenge. He keeps the ball for his club. Bryant has it now, the Whitehorse Yukon native. Good play there by Bajgare to find Rodriguez Zagara on the back heel. And obviously it's a cast of many here on the Falcons to get things done, but if you're just looking at the stat sheet and the athletes of the week, David Rodriguez Zagara has definitely been the feather of the cap of the Falcons in this early portion of the season, but as you saw there from the likes of a Nakanishi, a Shimada, a Bajgare, they've got so many different pieces with so many different qualities and attributes to the Falcons. They can hurt you in so many ways. One piece that is missing today for the Falcons is Mazla Farah, though, who I don't want to say has slowed down, but when your opening day is a hat trick, a scintillating hat trick no less, it's tough to keep that pace, and he's had a bit of a barren run since that opening day hat trick. Has Mazla Farah. He's a scratch here today. Manome takes it and cuts inside. Good first time ball now from Iwazaki, finds his fellow countryman, Nakanishi. Adlam for Bajgare. He gets fronted by the number 6, Marshall Dadzi. Ball played into that right channel for Shimada to chase, but it was just a hop, skip, and a jump ahead of the number 19 in the Langara orange shirt. And it rolls out harmlessly for a goal kick. 7 minutes in, still 0-0 here. And of course, one match on the out-of-town scoreboard. As second spot Capilano are jousting for position with third spot Douglas. Only 3 points between those two. Capilano on 10 and Douglas on 7. And it's been a bit of a weird season for Douglas. They started with 2 opening day wins, convincing ones as well. Their striker was Athlete of the Week. And since then, they've struggled to pick up a victory. 4 straight games without 3 points for the Douglas Royals. And even last week we're omitting Matteo Falcone from proceedings, which is a very interesting decision, having one of your more talented players on the bench. So perhaps shake-ups abound at Douglas, but they get a chance here to claw their way back into it against Capilano. And VIU are approaching must-win territory if they want to get themselves into a playoff. It might not all be about CCAA rankings. They might just need to keep themselves alive in this playoff mix. And 3 points, I think, today against the Langara Falcons, albeit might be somewhat of a shock result to some, I think would do them a ton of favors. There was a car alarm going off there for like the last 5 minutes. I actually took off my headset to see if it was actually my car, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Well, unless they found a way to, silence the alarm and take off with my car, in which case then it was, but I'll find that out after the game, I suppose, or maybe even at halftime. Challenge there goes the way of VIU. Kobe Monty saw the keeper off his line there, and he went for a frozen rope. It came off the backside of Grez Kazuki. Optimistic, to say the least, from Monty. Manome now tries his luck at a diagonal. That one's cut out in the air by Grez Kazuki. But David Rodriguez Zagara is closest to the pieces. Good ball there from Bajgare outside of the right boot, and it's on a dime, too, for Shimada. For Bajgare. Shimada made the inside run. Nakanishi now plays the ball to the far post. Manome, Rodriguez Zagara takes a shot on his right foot, and it clipped off his foot and the side of Grez Kazuki, and thankfully for the keeper, Illich, it took just enough of the weight off of that shot, and it didn't really trouble him or wrong foot him. Nakanishi now has the ball. Kobe Monty with a shot. That one again. Looks like Kobe Monty has his shooting boots on today. Anywhere around the 18-yard box and even the halfway line so far, he's tried to have a rep. And that'll be another warning for VIU. If you see number 2, look like he's ready to unload. Don't let that shot get away. VIU now come away with the ball in the middle of the park. We'll get a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. PACWEST BC.ca is the website for all your stats and up-to-date news. Zion Adlam calls the keeper. Good call there by Adlam, too, as Clark Ismail was just a bit off of his line, but they exchanged pleasantries there as Clark Ismail was appreciative of Adlam's communication there. And they both were able to work together as a team to kind of shepherd the number 24, Charlie Smith, who's a tall drink of water, 6'4". It'll be a good battle between him and Adlam today for sure. Mark Rizzardo bellowing at his players to just get up the park. They're sitting a dash deep. Good dribble there. It's Bryant. He's still going Bryant. He shrugged off Manome, who, well, he just put on the brakes there, did Bryant, and he couldn't catch up. Good play there by the number 23, who forced the issue against Manome. Nakanishi now. Ooh, that's a beefy challenge on Manome. And it was Dadsey who kind of chucked out the right leg, and I think he's a bit lucky not to go in the book there. That is a clumsy tackle, and it was ankle height with studs. It wasn't malicious, and he was kind of in a bit of a scrappy fight there with Nakanishi. But it's a bit reckless, it has to be said. For me, that's a yellow card, but the referee will keep his card firmly in his pocket, and this might be trouble for Manome. He got crunched there, man. He got crunched. I think he's lucky to be in one piece. That was nasty. We already have a goal on the out-of-town scoreboard. Douglas leading Capilano 1-0. And that with just under 40 minutes still to play, so under 5 minutes in, and Douglas have done just what the doctor ordered. Like I said, they're going to need to go ahead and get a result to at least joust with Capilano for that second spot, and if Langara can't pull away, might have a real fight for that top spot in the PACWEST men's soccer division. Manome now just hobbled off. He's going to have to hop off. That was a nasty, nasty tackle from Dadsey. I know it wasn't malicious, and he was kind of just, everything was kind of flying in all at once, but that was rough for Manome. And I think he might come off here. He's going right to the physio bench, and I want to say it was perhaps Owen Holscher who was quickest to peel off his training bib. And kind of this battle between VIU and Langara has picked up right where the ladies left off. 3 Langara ladies carted off in the opening 20 minutes of that one. And so far we have 1 Langara male, a man carted off in the second match here, so it's one of these university battles that transcends gender, it seems. These Langara Falcons and these VIU Mariners going tooth and nail at each other. Here come Dadsey, I believe, down the far left-hand side. Cuts into his right foot, clips a ball into the area. It was a pacey 10-yarder, but it was dealt with by Dante Tallarico. Substitution upcoming. It will be the number 16, Owen Holscher, on. And Manome, who's got his sock, his guard, and his boot off. So they don't do that unless you're in real trouble. Dadsey scampers away from 1, plays it into the feet of Howell. Howell takes turns for Bryant. Grez Kazuki. That's going to be a bit of a chase. Horvath tried to lay it on to Bryant there. It'll be a goal kick. Good battle there between Bryant and Tallarico. Diagonal ball looking for Holscher. Just a bit too much sting on that one, and it evades the substitute. How? Nakanishi, good cut back there from Adlam, and he has some space to charge forward in the right channel. Tidy ball right up Main Street for Kobe Monty, who gets the pass returned to him from Shimada. He's going to rake in a ball. Rodriguez-Zagara may have let it go. He does for Holscher. Holscher has a chance to shoot here, left-footed. Oh, he cuts it just across the face of the net and the keeper. He has him scrambling and diving, but it's just about a meter wide of that left post of Illich's net. Good effort there from Holscher. Good spread of play there from Rodriguez-Zagara. And good job by Shimada and Adlam to get that ball going, and Kobe Monte as well. So a well-worked play there by the Falcons, who look like they can transition so fast here. Foul now, and VIU get the ball back. We're 16 minutes in, if you're just joining us. First real chance of the game coming off the foot of Owen Holscher moments ago. But the first real talking point is the number 20 for Langara. The jinky winger, Manome, he's been hauled off after a tackle from Dadzi goes unpunished. Ball in from Brown. Just far too central, and athlete of the week, Zion Clark Ismail, will have an easy clutch and claim. Out of town scoreboard watching. Douglas still up on Capilano early. That one, 35 minutes still to go in the half. Ooh, good knockdown from Holscher, but Rodriguez-Zagara just pulled up on his right leg. He was holding the back of his right hammy on that last knockdown. We'll have to keep our eye on that one, as Rodriguez-Zagara is kind of one of those midfield maestros who can really dictate the tempo of the play for the Falcons, and probably one of the best midfielders in the PACWEST. Talarico zips a ball into the feet of Rodriguez-Zagara, who takes it so well and is immediately ready to turn and pivot and shield as well. He's got a great bag of tricks, Rodriguez-Zagara. Definitely one of those midfielders you don't want to play against in the middle of the park. Shimada slithers away from a couple tackles. He spreads it to his left for Iwasaki. Good ball there from Rodriguez-Zagara. What a ball. Kobe Monty now. He thought about launching a long diagonal stinger, but he just took too long on it, and he's forced into an error there. It was the number 2 Horvath who took it off Monty, and he himself tried to feather a ball forward for the onrushing Charlie Smith, which I don't know if running onto through balls is the big lad's game, but he put up the chase for sure, and he was boxed out by Talarico, who's been very steady in the left back role this year. Talarico even gets forward the odd time, has a goal to his tally as well. David Rodriguez-Zagara, though, of course, leading the charge in the goals column for the Falcons. He has 5, including a couple penalties from the opening 6 matches. The closest to him is Masla Farah, and he has 3. His opening day hat trick, I should say, keeping him in second spot. Meanwhile, Brian Bland and Charlie Smith leading the way for VIU as far as goal contributions. They each have 3, but Brian Bland not in the lineup today, so not a ton of offensive options as far as guys who can bang it home in the box for the men in white. Horvath has been the busiest of the players here for the Mariners. He gets in a great cross. It's a cutback header. Falls free at the back post. Oh, did that hit the post or was it a save? My goodness. Either way, best chance of the match so far goes to the visiting Nanaimo Islanders, the Mariners, if you will, from VIU. What a chance there. Criminally unmarked at the back post. It's a heck of a ball from Horvath to get that in under immense pressure from Talarico. It was a great cutback with pace, flummoxed the entire Langara defense. And yeah, it was Maxwell Dadzi all the way from England Once again, we don't have the benefit of replays on these broadcasts. Great ball forward for Holscher. Can he get there? Tries to clip it over the keeper, but is brave keeping from Illich, who I think actually wore a smack there, and certainly wasn't malicious from Holscher. It was a definite 50-50 ball. Very courageous keeping from Illich. But unfortunately for the keeper clad in blue, he came out second best as far as the physical beating he took. But just back to that chance from VIU, it managed to escape and wriggle through the entire portion of the area laterally. And I found Dadsey at the back post. As I said, we don't have the benefit of a replay here. I'm not sure if that was a spectacular save onto the post, just a save, just a post, a combo of the three, but whatever happened there, the Langara Falcons are thanking their lucky stars that they're not down 1-0, and it came off a good bit of service from Horvath, and that might be the way home. We talked about their willingness to attack balls in the air and being very good from set pieces, the Mariners. They really gave Langara trouble last time they were here at Langley. And that was another indication of what they can get done with some of those crosses. Good play by number 2, Horvath, once again. This doesn't look good for the keeper, Marko Illich from Calgary. He hasn't moved a lick since that collision. He was able to chat with Holscher after the collision, and they shook hands, so obviously there was nothing nasty there, but maybe he just caught his leg on the turf, because it doesn't look like he got clipped in the head or the chest or caught a stray boot or anything like that. And the turf can be very fickle at the best of times. And it's always a risk when you're going to ground that a stud might catch or God knows what. You can just hope Marko Illich is okay here. Both squads will take this opportunity to get a quick blast of water and some hydration. We'll take this opportunity to have a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Just under 15 minutes played between Douglas and Capilano, and the Royals in green have the lead, 1-0. It looks like Illich will be okay to continue. He does look like he's a bit battered. The number 31 keeper is up off the bench. However, I don't have a 31 on my stat sheet here, so that's going to be fun trying to track down. They've got 2 other keepers on the bench. Ty Strachan, but he's a scratch, so it must be Brian Murray, who is usually a number 27. We will effort to get confirmation on that. Should VIU make a substitution, Rodriguez Zagara has Dadsey draped all over him. Rodriguez Zagara wearing the captain's armband wins the foul. Omura, the number 6, who's usually pinpoint with his service. He'll have a chance to launch one in here. All the big boys are ready to have this ball played into the back post. Adlam is offside if it gets to him. It was a glancing header from Holscher at the top of the area. Didn't really cause any problems and squirted all the way through to Illich, who thankfully is looking no worse for wear after his save moments ago on Holscher. So good chances so far from both clubs. Ball over the top looking for Charlie Smith. He might get the right side of Nakanishi. He does so. He was thrown off his stride. Referee says no go. Nakanishi's lucky to get away with that one. I think if Charlie Smith hits the deck there's a serious show for a penalty. Ball into the 6-yard box, and it's that man Horvath again making a nuisance of himself. Good play from VIU, who do not look to be backing down here to the champion Falcons. If you're just joining us, chances for both sides. Owen Holscher has had a pair of chances. One he cut across the face of goal that just missed clipping the far post. He also had a one-on-one break moments ago that was stopped by the keeper. Meanwhile, Maxwell Dadsey's come the closest for the Mariners. He had a very good opportunity unmarked in the penalty box. Not go in at the far post after a great cross by Horvath, and Horvath there almost getting on the end of a cross, cutting across the 6-yard box. He's definitely one to watch here if you're a Falcons defender. Foul against the Mariners, and Langara get the ball back. sun has really popped out here in Langley. It was very gray and ugly for the opening portion of the afternoon, but as this afternoon has worn on, it's become a perfect early fall midday to have a game of PACWEST collegiate soccer, that's for sure. Good ball win by Kobe Monty there, who's managed to squirm free to the top of the box for Bajgari. He's waiting for options. Bajgari opens up, left-footed shot! What a blast! Taylor Bajgari! Great work by Kobe Monty to get the ball free in that left channel. He plays it into Bajgari, takes a couple touches, wriggles himself from the defense, and launches a left-footed rocket. Illich has no chance. It's 1-0 Falcons. Great finish by Bajgari. He sent a couple VIU defenders right. And they bid on it, the two defenders there, and it just opened up a little bit in the penalty box at that near post. He still had to get around the defender and beat the keeper, did Bajgari, but he picked the top bin of the junction of that right portion of Illich's net. No real chance for the keeper there, who got the fist up. But it was hit with some venom and some purpose and some placement there by the Iranian Bajgari. Langara, I don't want to say deservedly so in the lead. They've maybe been slightly sharper than VIU, but VIU haven't been out of this by any stretch. They've looked just as potent as the Falcons, so this one can still go either way, and you hope for the Mariners that the heads don't drop, because they've played a very good away contest in this opening 27 minutes or so. You have to tip the cap, but it's the Falcons who draw first blood. Oh, clever from Bajgari and Rodriguez Agar. You could tell what they were trying to do there. Unfortunately for Bajgari, he had to try and link up with Rodriguez Agar through a couple sets of white socks, and it was just cut out there. He's been a bag of flicks and tricks today, Bajgari. Very delicate feet. But he knows how to lay the hammer down when the moment calls for it, and he did it just moments ago to open the scoring. And VIU just have to stay in this one. They have to conjure up maybe one or two more chances if they can before their half and just keep themselves in the rhythm of this match. They can't fall too far behind the 8 ball. They've been right in the mix of it, battling out with these Falcons. That's kind of their game, VIU. They don't really go away. They're always close there, and there's a really good play. The ball's broken for number 17, Brown. Can he get some support? Oh, he just slipped when he went to go put in his cross. That's unfortunate for the number 17, as him and Charlie Smith had kind of worked the numbers against Talarico there. Unfortunately for Brown, he just couldn't sort out the feet in the nick of time to get in a really meaningful cross, but that's kind of the bread and butter of VIU. As I mentioned, they're going to have to nick one on a set piece. They're going to have to make the most of their counter-attacking opportunities. Good ball win there. Double ball win by Dadsey, who's now begging for options. He gets it to his right with Horvath. And with the likes of Charlie Smith, he's head and shoulders bigger than any of the Langara defenders. So if he can get body position inside the penalty box, that might be very tough to defend for Langara. So definitely still lost to hang their hat on here for the Mariners. It was a foul there, but I think Dadsey added a little bit of a swan dive to that one just to really hammer it home for the referee. It was a foul, though, on the number 6, Dadsey. Now this could be a real opportunity here. It's Adam Hopper from Powell River standing over the free kick, right-footed. Horvath is also there as well, and we've seen he can whip one in. And they've got all their big boys queued up at the back post. This could be danger. Mariners, it's a great ball in. Adlam, with nobody really in his kitchen, gets a chance to just stoop down and knot it clear, and it's a counterattack opportunity for the Falcons. Rodriguez Zagara with no hesitation. Diagonal ball to Kobe Monty. Cuts in on his right foot. Nutmegs it. Keeps it alive for Rodriguez Langara, who himself has to shirk the tackle of Brown. Great play there. Shimada just misses at the near post. Good job by Rodriguez Langara just to play in the on-rushing Shimada. And Shimada himself had to sort out his feet, get past the defender. Well defended, though. It was Liam Howe who just forced Shimada wide right and actually gets the deflection in with a last-ditch tackle and forces a corner kick. Langara springing to life here now as they perhaps smell blood after that opening goal from Bajgare. 30 minutes gone, 1-0, and the Iranian has the tally for the men in orange. It's Omura who's going to have this corner kick, right-footed outswinger. Only 2 bodies inside the 6-yard box. Adlam is at the top of the 6. It's headed clear by Smith. For Nakanishi, he has a right-footed blast. That one is charged down by Ashton Bryant, and he can only play his ball forward for Horvath into the waiting feet of Iwasaki. Bajgare wanted the ball on the deck to run onto, but Iwasaki was asking for some shorter options, and the Falcons will take the chance to reset here. PACWEST doubleheader action live from the Langley Event Center here today in beautiful Langley, British Columbia, Canada, and Willoughby Park, home of the CPL club Vancouver FC, the Vancouver Bandits of the CEBL Basketball League, and of course the WHL Vancouver Giants right next door at the Langley Event Center itself. The one we're watching right now, PACWEST men's soccer action between the champions, the Langara Falcons, and the VIU Mariners from Nanaimo. Good ball win there by Bajgare. Thought about raking in across, but he's going to wait for some options now. Now he's going to take on his man. Bajgare gets around him. Great play there by Bajgare. Waiting for an orange flag! It's Kobe Monty from the top of the 6. It looked like Bajgare had just waited too long to spread that pass, but it ends up being a perfect bang-bang snooker play, and it's Kobe Monty who opens up the body. And that left instep clips off the post, beats Illich again from close range, and it's 2-0 for the Falcons. Great play by Bajgare. An assist and a goal so far, and he has been enjoying his football. He is tap dancing around the Mariners at the moment, and they don't seem to have an answer for the number 8. I think we might need a substitution on the far side. It's the number 11, Liam Howe, who was in that duel with Bajgare and perhaps just picked up a slight knock on the way by. He did hit the turf after Bajgare went past him. You hope it's just cramp or something like that. Nothing too serious. We've seen far too many injuries here today to both squads, really. The last thing you want is more players on the physio bench. It looks like it might be an early shower for number 11, Liam Howe from Courtney, which is a shame. Connor Nelson, number 16, who was very active in the first encounter between these two squads. He's now in. He replaces the number 11, Howe. The last thing the Mariners want is from this to go bad to worse. They need to get themselves on the score sheet. It's been tough on the Mariners. Honestly, it's been unlucky. They've been right here. I know I've said it all through this first half, but they've been right toe-to-toe with the Falcons so far. And outside of some slightly more clinical finishing inside the penalty box, there's not a whole lot between these two squads. It's been a good away performance from VIU. They just need to go ahead and keep getting these chances, keep working for those set pieces, and hopefully some of those opportunities go in the back of the net. We'll have a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard between Douglas and Capilano. 25 minutes played there. 1-0 still to Douglas. This looks promising. Charlie Smith into the path of Brown. Good ball for Horvath. He's shielding away from one, shielding away from two. Can he get a shot away? He does! Oh, it's a fantastic goal! I've been trumpeting his praise all through this first half, and he gets his reward. It's Horvath, the men at right back. not afraid to take on the tackle, and he's certainly not afraid to find the shot either. He banks one in off the post. And the Mariners are back to within one. Just what you want to see. What a tilt we have here in the PACWEST. My goodness me. Fantastic stuff from the number 2. It looked like he might be the build-up man or the service man, but I'm sure the Mariners fans won't care that he's the guy pulling the trigger. What a finish there. It was clever playing the build-up by Brown. He was very patient. He waited for that seam to open up. And Horvath still had a lot of work to do. He got past 1 or 2, maybe even 3 orange shirts before picking out that far corner. Great finish there. And I'm sure the last thing the Falcons want to do is see an equalizer flash past keeper Clark Ismail before the 45 ticks over, because Langara's been fairly tidy so far, but VIU just don't know how to say quit, do they? Dadsy to Dadsy. The two Dadsies link up. Adlam having none of that. Brown now. And the VIU Mariners have actually been buoyed by some female support as well. The VIU Mariner ladies have stuck around to offer some fanfare for their male counterparts. Good school spirit there. You love to see it. Oh, this looks good. It's Dadsy again. He's on the trot. He's on the dribble. Can he get past 1, 2? He can't. He almost got through Adlam. But it's good backup play by Shimada, who misplaces his pass, but it actually might benefit Holscher. Good play there by Rodriguez Agar, who's almost baiting the tackle, isn't he? He loves the physical duel in this middle of the park conflict. Oh, look at that. He gets a clip, too, along the way. And that'll be a foul on Horvath. David Rodriguez Zagara wins the ball and wins a bit of time and rhythm back for his club. Left-footed switch of play. What a switch, too, by Shimada. Into Talarico. Can he get right side of his man? Beg your pardon, left side to his favored left foot. Instead, he goes to the touchline for Kobe Monty. A low, hard cross headed away by, I believe that was Bryant. It was. Great weighted ball for Charlie Smith. Can he get past Adlam? He can't. The subsequent ball for Smith, though. Can he get the shot away? He does! Just not enough sting on it, though. He was falling down as he hit it. Might have been the right play to just spread it or let it dummy for Dadsy at the back post there, who didn't really have an orange shirt on him. But you'll never stop your leading scorer, talismanic Charlie Smith, from having a rip there. Unfortunately for the big lad, he was just slightly off balance when he tried to smack that one on the left peg, and it didn't really trouble Clark Ismail none too much. 38th minute, still 2-1 for Langara if you're just joining us. Bajgare opened the scoring. Kobe Monte doubled Langara's pleasure, but almost immediately after that, Horvath answered the bell, and we're at 2-1. Out-of-town scoreboard, Douglas and Capilano, 15 minutes to go in their first half. The Royals in green of Douglas still holding a 1-0 lead, which would make things very interesting in the top of the table. It actually would suit Langara just fine, because if they were to hold this result, they get 3, which means it would be a 2-point advance on, beg your pardon, it would be a 2-point advance on Capilano, which would actually end up being 5 points. That's if Douglas were able to win. So a Douglas victory suits Langara just fine if they can hold on to this result. Kobe Monty shimmying, shaking, right-footed shot. It has some sting on it, but it was hit right up the pipe. And Marco Illich just had to wait for that ball to fly into his mitts. Yeah, there's been a few fans here who have come and sat under the broadcast location, and almost immediately they've left right away. So must be doing a fantastic job here. Owen Holscher in the penalty box for Rodriguez Segarra. Low, hard left-footed shot. Marco Illich scrambling to his left, just palms that one down. I don't think it had the weight that Rodriguez Segarra wanted, and I think if Illich probably lets that go, it might just drift away from his near left post. But good effort from Rodriguez Segarra, who scored a very similar goal to that one the last time these two clubs met for an equalizer. Yeah, it's not always fun to have a broadcaster screaming in your ear when you're just trying to watch a peaceful soccer match, is it? So apologies to those patrons who are trying to, sit in the nice seats and had me ruin the experience for them. Holscher onside, just onside too. He's cut back one, cut past two, and he hits it off the post. He had done ever so well, Holscher. He had two white shirts draped on him like a cheap suit. He managed to shake them both. And then he just tried to poke it in at the near post, a lick of paint the other way. We're talking 3-1, and Owen Holscher, who's already had two Gilt Edge chances, looks like he's hungry for more. Talarico, straight up in the air. Looked like he clobbered Charlie Smith on the way down, but the referee says play on. Rodriguez Segarra needs to watch himself for a couple roulettes. He tried to go for three, but the big Peruvian in the middle of the park. That's offside on Holscher. And Mark Rizzardo looks like looks like he just wants to scream at the heavens sometimes. He wanted Holscher to keep himself on side. Very animated in his technical area as Mark Rizzardo at the best of times. Even when things are going right for the Falcons, sometimes you can see the blood boiling for Rizzardo, but he'll have a seat on his bench, take a slug of water, and wait for the next opportunity. Unfortunately, Holscher there offside. Adlam wins his duel with Dadzi, but can only put it out into touch. This is good for the Mariners. They can go ahead and get a couple chances here and maybe put a bit of doubt in the mind of Langara. I think that sets them up for a nice second half. And Dadzi, who was lobbying for that throw-in, along with a good portion of the VIU support on the far side, who were all eyes on the cause there. He slams the ball down in frustration. The call didn't go his way, Dadzi, and the referee's just coming over to chill him out, so to speak. Nakanishi, beg your pardon, it's Iwasaki in the middle of the park with acres of space. No one really picked up on his position there for that throw-in. Holscher tries to get it to Monty. He does. Good play there from Monty, who seems to have the ball on a string at times. Tries to put a diagonal forward for Bishgari. It's great. It's gotten over his target. Bishgari, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Shot off the post. Rebound! It's Taigo Shimada! Johnny on the spot. It's a fantastic diagonal from Kobe Monte. Bishgari was kind of drifting away from net. Still had to find the finish. He wraps it off the post. And who else but that man, Shimada, tucks it home. 3-1 Langara. What a shot from Bishgari, who I'm surprised carrying away from net. He managed to play that across net with such pace. Illich struggled to get down to it. He wasn't getting down to it. It smacks off the post. And unfortunately for the Mariners, it's the late arriving run of Shimada, who pretty much gets a tap in from the penalty dot. And the uphill climb is being reestablished for the Mariners, who we know have that never say die attitude, but this will really put them to the test. Good ball went there again by Shimada, who is just such a hard worker and just doesn't seem to stop running. Yeah, Bishgari and Monty have been running the show here today. Rodriguez Segarra has done his part, but as far as the flashy stuff, it's been all Kobe Monte and all Bishgari. And Shimada was the benefit of that play in that last spell where Langara extend their lead. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. 5 minutes to play in the first half between Douglas and Capilano. Still only one goal between those two clubs. And it's a goal from the Douglas Royals, 1-0. Ball cut back, looking for Bajgare. Owen Holscher was there as well. He's fighting his cause now. He wins the ball back. I think that's a fair play by Holscher, who had won that cleanly. He had gotten good body position on the inside of, I want to say it was Grez Kazuki. Actually, I beg your pardon, it's Joseph Hare Goss. It was great pressing there by Holscher. And unfortunately, I think the referee was just the wrong side of the tackle. And I think Langara might feel a bit hard-pressed not to have continued their attack there. Shimada, can he put it across? No, he's going to try and get around his man. He does. Tries to put his body position in the way, but Hare Goss make amends there. Now Adlam's in a spirited battle along that right touchline. Bajgare comes away with it. Rodriguez-Zagara, clip from behind. And the VIU support on that far side. You gotta love it. They are fired up. Just waiting for the vuvuzelas to be broken out. Hopefully it's not a rusty vuvuzela like somebody brought a couple matches back. It sounded like that vuvuzela needed a tune-up. So hopefully whoever brings the vuvuzela today, it's, you know, tuned up, well lubricated, ready to go. It's Omura standing over the free kick. Ooh, Rodriguez-Zagara sidesteps one. He thought about smashing in a shot on his right foot, but spreads it to his right. Another cross into the penalty box. Ooh, that was a dangerous one. Shot come cross that almost nestled into that top portion of the net, but Marko Ilic was right on top of it. He's been good today, Ilic. There's not a ton he could have done on some of those goals, but the interceptions and the contributions he has been able to influence, he's been bang on with Ilic. Rodriguez-Zagara gets away from one, gets away from two. Nakanishi and Bajgare link up on that right channel. Nakanishi tried to play it back, a 10-yarder for Iwasaki to lean a shot into, but he just left it a bit light, and Iwasaki was picked off. Ooh, and Iwasaki gets mugged there by Dadzi. It was a clean tackle, but he took everything in the kitchen sink. Bajgare still going. Bajgare, right-footed shot! Oh, if it's not for the fingertips of Marko Ilic, it's 4-1. Bajgare has been lethal from that right channel, and he almost cut it across goal again and flummoxed Ilic. It's a good save again from the man in blue. And another corner kick right on the stroke of halftime. Good job, Bajgare, who's been firing from all angles, and doesn't look like there's anything he's not willing to try this game, and most of his stuff is coming off. It'll be Omura, right-footed in-swinger to the near post, headed clear by, I believe it was Bryant. It came off his nose. He was clutching his face immediately afterwards, but he's good to go. Iwasaki with a stinger. That was a frozen rope right up Main Street. Came off the backside of Bryant again, who just seems to be blocking everything at the moment. Shimada. For Brown. Or I should say with Brown chasing him. Bryant wins the header down. He tried to direct it into the path of Horvath, but it was just a bit too much glance on it, and it goes off into the Falcons' physio bench. Bajgare does well to shield it. And then go laterally for Nakanishi. A bit of a heavy ball forward for Holscher, and even Nakanishi is rolling around, wondering how he misplaced that pass. It looked like it was just going to need a tidy little 10-yarder. It was very little pace, but he zipped it right into the feet of Holscher, and even Holscher was struggling to control that one. Can't imagine a ton of added time here after this first half. We haven't had a lot of injuries or stoppages. It's been fairly free-flowing. It's been a very, very fun opening, entertaining half of soccer to watch. VIU is not backing down, and at any moment it looks like they could spring to life on the counterattack or a set piece and really cause Langara trouble. Rodriguez-Zagara. Still going Rodriguez-Zagara. And Bajgare keeps getting dragged back into the middle of the park. He's so keen to be on the ball, but Mark Rosardo bellowing to him that he needs him further advanced along that front line to give an option to outlet to just on the release. Bajgare wins that header. But as mentioned, Bajgare will then try and drop in the middle park. He's won that battle with Grez Kazuki. It's great work there, and he gives it to Kobe Monte. He wanted to return the favor, did Monte, but Bajgare had just stopped short and was expecting Monte to switch play, I believe. And that one doesn't come off. 3-1 still for Langara if you're just joining us. Kobe Monte, Tainer Bajgare, and Taigo Shimada with the goals. The lone goal for VIU, and they might have another one here. Oh, it's off the crossbar. It falls to Charlie Smith. Can he find the finish? He does! What a game we have here. My goodness me. Just that it seems like VIU don't have an answer for this Langara press. The counterattack springs to life. And Brown has been fantastic today alongside Horvath, but it's their leading scorer, Charlie Smith, who has composed as you like under pressure, finds the top portion of Clark Ismail's net right on the stroke of halftime, and the Mariners have to be pleased with that. They have bend but not break. They are behind by a score of 3-2. But this one is not over by a long stretch. What a match we have here in the PACWEST, the second of our PACWEST doubleheader between Langara and VIU. Of course, the women's result in the books. The VIU ladies, a 3-0 victory over the Langara Falcons. And this one will go into the half 3-2 in favor of the men in orange. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard just before we get to halftime. Douglas holding on to a 1-0 lead over Capilano. That one, less than 3 minutes to play in the first half. We'll take a very quick 15-minute break, and we'll come back with the second half of this encounter, the men's match. Langara currently leading VIU by a score of 3-2. More PACWEST doubleheader action live from the Langley Event Center coming up shortly. back underway here at the Langley Event Center. The second match of our PACWEST soccer doubleheader between Langara, the host club, and the visiting VIU Mariners from Nanaimo. The women's match already in the books, a 3-0 win for the VIU women to extend their lead atop the table. Langara women still remaining in second place. Meanwhile, in the men's encounter here, it's a wide open but somehow very tight 3-2, where it looked like Langara at times might just peel away and turn it into a rout. VIU, to their credit, have kept it very tight, and a goal right on the stroke of halftime for their leading striker and goal scorer, Charlie Smith, has brought us to a very entertaining matchup here, to say the least. As far as the PACWEST men's division is concerned, entering this match day, Langara, match day 7 I should say, week number 4, Langara entering top of the table on 13 points, Capilano second on 10 points, Douglas third on 7 points, and VIU with only 1 win, bottom of the table on 4 points. They might have a chance on net here if Brown can get to it. It will be a goal kick, I beg your pardon, as Clark Ismail just beat him to it. But if these results were to stand, Langara would get a 6-point lead atop the table. Douglas would bring themselves level with Capilano on 10 points, and VIU would still remain rooted to the foot of the table on 4 points and risk missing the playoffs. And of course, these two clubs have already met once here in Langley. It was a 2-1 come-from-behind victory for the Langara Falcons. David Rodriguez-Zagar with both goals. Ball floated into the area. Charlie Smith is there. Dadzi was hanging around at the back post, but Taigo Shimada flashed in just in the nick of time to win that one. Dadzi, though, has shouldered him off the ball and won it back. Good battle between number 14 and number 19, respectively. Ball into the middle of the park for Nelson. He spreads it wide right. We'll get you the substitutes in just a second. There's been 1 substitution apiece for either squad. Ball into the box. It's a floated one to the top of the 6-yard box. And Charlie Smith, who that's his bread and butter, all he could do was crane the neck to loop that one over. Goal kick. The 2 substitutions onto the park. Number 7, Sang for VIU. And meanwhile, Captain David Rodriguez-Zagara, who was very busy in that first half, he's going to take a bit of a breather. The number 18, Tyler McCall, is in for Langara. The Langara Falcons, usually clad in all white or all black with a little bit of orange piping and trim. Orange is one of those trademark Falcons colors. They're head to toe in orange today, and we'll let you know why shortly, just after Colby Monty does his work here. Cuts the ball back to the top of the area. That is cleared. Ahead of National Truth and Reconciliation Day, the Langara Falcons are wearing their Snoelith Lelam uniforms. And in 2016, Musqueam people honored Langara with the name Snoelith Lelam, which means House of Teachings. The name references the advice given to a child to build their character and guide them into adulthood. So the Langara Falcons adding a bit more meaning to that Falcon orange this weekend as we come up to Truth and Reconciliation Day with the Snoelith Lelam all orange kits. A little bit of white and black piping and trim head to toe. They're playing from left to right on your stream today. Keeper Clark Ismail is in the bright highlighter yellow kit. Meanwhile, VIU, they're in their usual trim, crisp white tops, black shorts, white socks with black piping and trim. They are playing from right to left on your stream. Their keeper Marko Ilic is in a royal blue style kit with white and black piping and trim, and he's going to be forced into action here shortly as a free kick along the far left touchline has been gifted to the Falcons. Omura will come over to take it. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger and only a 2-man wall, and plenty of orange shirts now in the mixer, waiting to see what happens here. Kobe Monty offside on the free kick, and that's a bit of a waste for the Falcons, who had done ever so well to get themselves into that territory. Kobe Monty was offside on the ball played forward. And we mentioned in that first half that probably as far as controlling the ball, passing, and trying to dictate play, the Langara Falcons have been the better of the 2 clubs, but don't tell that to VIU, because just about every time they've gotten up the park, which hasn't been a ton, They've created some real chances. Ball to the top of the air for Dadsey. He hangs out the right peg just to control it. Right-footed shot from Nelson. Gets way too far under it and screws it off into the WestJet section over there behind the net at the LEC here. Backed up against the stadiums for the Vancouver Bandits and the Vancouver Giants, and of course the Canadian Premier League's Vancouver FC. But back to my point is that VIU look like they might just spring to action at any time, whether it's on a counterattack, a set piece. They've got some big, robust, physical players that can do some serious damage, and we saw that in that first half when it looked like Langara might break themselves free and open up a bit of a rout here in Langley. VIU have been right there to answer the bell and keep themselves in the match and keep Langara honest. Nakanishi with a ball forward. It's going to be hard pressed for Tyler McCall to get onto it, but he'll put up the chase. It's cleared away by Marco Illich. One game on the out-of-town scoreboard, jousting for position in the middle of the table between Douglas and Capilano. We'll get you that score shortly. Here comes Kobe Monty, coming back onto his right foot. What a shot! That had some serious venom on it. Easy save for Illich, though, as it was hit right into his breadbasket. And now we're going to see a yellow card. First of the match. It'll go for number 19, Taigo Shimada, after a bit of a cynical shirt tug on what could have been a promising counterattack there for VIU. Out-of-town scoreboard watching. Over 10 minutes gone in the second half. Douglas still holding on to a 1-0 lead over Capilano, which would bring them level on 10 points with the Blues. And you just wonder for VIU, they are missing one of their top goal scorers in Brian Bland, if he'd be available for this one to partner Charlie Smith. We could be talking about a slightly different game here, but at the moment, VIU don't seem to be missing the attacking options as much as it might look like on paper. Charlie Smith and the number 2, Horvath, alongside with the number 17, Declan Brown, they've all been very busy. Those have been the 3 most positive spots so far for VIU, and they look at any time like they might be able to conjure up a chance. Owen Holscher bodied off the box in the area. Nakanishi tries to get himself free and get one. Catches a whack on the way by, but I think the ball was already kind of away from the Japanese midfielder, and the referee says play on. Overlapping run for McCall. Great ball there by Bushgari. Can McCall get in the ball? He does for Holscher, who just got in front of his man and tried to put a little deft, faint little touch and guide it past the keeper. He's arguing that the flick came off the shins of the VIU defender, but the referee says no go, goal kick. Marco Illich will not complain about that, and VIU get the ball back. As we tick over into the 54th minute, it is still 3-2. And Taigo Shimada's tap-in looks like it might be the difference at the moment. Ooh, Iwasaki adjudged to have dragged back Dadsey there, but if he did, he maybe did it with his pinky fingernail a bit. I don't think I saw that one. The referee was right there, though. And the referee's been spot on for the most part in this match, so I will cede to him. Free kick for VIU. They've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white shirts in the box. Oh, it's launched right into the kitchen of Clark Ismail in his 6-yard box. Not wide enough for VIU to really knock it back in, but just too central for Clark Ismail not to come off his line and make an attempt to claim that one, which he did fairly easy. Mark Grizzardo, uncharacteristically subdued on his bench. And there he gets up off his technical area and starts gesticulating and screaming. I don't want to tempt fate too many times, but I thought, you know, Mark's too calm down there. That's not like him. Shimada tries to poke one through on his right peg. He was carrying inside and then tried to do the no look as Owen Holscher had made a run across the penalty box. Kobe Monty now has it. Tried to get a little razzle-dazzly there by the corner flag, and unfortunately it doesn't come off, and he's conceded a throw-in. McCall into the path of Shimada. He tries to work a 1-2 with Bajgare. Can he get there? He almost did, but it's a good late covering run there by Joseph Hare-Goss. Another English import from across the pond. They've got plenty of international flavor, VIU. A Welshman, 3 Englishmen, an American, a South African, and a Hungarian. Horvath, the aforementioned Hungarian, is on the score sheet here today. He had the opening goal for VIU. Charlie Smith, the other goal scorer for VIU from Squamish, which will be the host site of the provincials coming up in October. October 25th and 26th, if I'm not mistaken. Might be a bit of a tough slog for VIU to participate in that with their unfortunate standings, but still plenty of season to go here, and dare I say the men in white were to go ahead and get a point or maybe even 3 here, that would help massively. Hare-Goss, beg your pardon, it's actually Nelson up the right touchline who had spread it inside, but no one had really picked up on it, his fellow teammates. Declan Brown, though, comes away with it. In a sea of orange shirts, Declan Brown offside Charlie Smith, and he didn't need to be. It was clever play by Declan Brown, who alongside Smith and Horvath has been one of the shining lights here today for the club from Nanaimo. Ball forward for Owen Holscher. Can he get past Hare-Goss? He doesn't. Out-of-town scoreboard. Douglas still up on Capilano 1-0. Less than 30 minutes to go there. Ball hepped on for Brown for Smith. If he can get this to Dadsey. Oof, and you know what? I think Adlam had to... He had to make that tackle, because if he doesn't, Charlie Smith spreads that to Dadsey, and that's a pretty clear look on net. With that being said, though, I don't think Adlam got that much of him. There was the slightest coming together, and I think Charlie Smith might have just been slightly off kilter, slightly off balance, and he hits the deck, but good foul for Adlam to take. Did he absolutely take everything in the kitchen sink? I don't think so, but it was a goal-scoring opportunity, and I think that's where the yellow card is really brandished. Not so much on the contact itself, but the fact that he obstructed what probably would have been a really clean look at net for Dadsey. And it's Dadsey who's going to stand over this one. I can't see the number on the player on the left side of the ball. I think it might be Dadsey, though, right-footed. It is. Oh, what a shot, what a save! Dadsey shows his quality there. Opened up with the right foot, and it looked like that might just knuckle under the bar, but Clark Ismail waited to the exact right moment to punch that one over. It's a great shot, but it's a fantastic save for the Langara keeper. Double substitution coming up now for the VIU Mariners. Nathan Torres and Aiden Gutierrez set to come on here. And Torres will go right over to take the corner kick. Torres, the Carbondale, Illinois native, so Little American flavor on this corner kick. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger, stands it up to the back post. It's a good palm away by Clark Ismail, as Declan Brown was waiting right there to try and pop home any pieces should they've been available. Another ball stood up to the back post. This one, it's a lurching header from Charlie Smith, who was kind of pushed over. The referee says no penalty. VIU keep the ball alive. Nelson puts in a cross. This one is a stinger that comes off the lap of a Langara player. I want to say it was Herr Gosser. Yeah, I think it was Herr Gosser, or maybe even Grez Kazuke, who had a lash at that one. And unfortunately, it just loops up over the bar and doesn't really trouble Clark Ismail. It was Grez Kazuki there. Double substitution coming up now for Langara. They'll bring on number 11, Luca Cafaro, and number 5, Keanu Amagu Sanchez. It'll be Bajgare and Owen Holscher to make way. And they were two busy players in that first half. Bajgare, Holscher, Monty, Rodriguez Zagara. Probably the four most involved players in that first half. And their influences just kind of slightly faded as this match has gone on. So Mark Rosardo is going to try a bit of a different approach. Tainer Bajgare, who you don't want to say injury prone, but there are times where he spends spells on the physio bench. He'll head right to the bench there for treatment. And David Rodriguez Zagara might get some late minutes in this one, maybe about 15 minutes or so. I think the club, they don't completely fall off their rocker when Rodriguez Zagara isn't in the squad, but he just adds a little bit more stability in the middle of the park. He just does that thankless phone booth shepherding and pivoting of the ball and riding of tackles that's not everyone's cup of tea, it has to be said. But Rodriguez Zagara seems to relish it. He loves the battle in the middle of the park, the Peruvian. Ooh, that's a good back heel there. Good ride of a tackle, too. And a shot on goal just over the junction of the crossbar. I want to say it's the substitute Sang who had really done the hard part. And he had players queuing up at the back post. I think it was Dadze who was rushing in. He had Charlie Smith sucking towards the goal line, but Sang just blasts it from an acute angle. He was going for that near top portion of the net of Clark Ismail, but balloons it over the bar. And it's still a one-goal game with about, 25 minutes to go here, plus stoppage. Had to do some quick mental math there. Not fun. Not fun. Free header right back up this left channel. Charlie Smith will put up the chase. Beg your pardon, Zion Adlam has misplaced his clearance, but thankfully for him, Charlie Smith got a bit excited and dribbled out into touch. Quick look out at the out-of-town scoreboard. Myself getting a little bit too excited here. Under 23 minutes to play, and Douglas still clinching onto a 1-0 lead over Capilano. Ooh, Adlam got a chunk of Nelson. Charlie Smith's in the box, cuts it to the top. Oh, Declan Brown, his touch was just a bit too heavy. If he was able to hit that first time in his stride, which would have been a real tough ask, because that was pinged in by Smith, that would have been a heat seeker that I don't think even Clark Ismail could have got on the end of. Now McCall's been dispossessed. VIU all of a sudden springing to life. Nelson, Brown, Herr Goss, and he just leaves his pass a bit short. It's now really opening up here. Diagonal from Iwasaki finds Shimada. Shimada, who's on a yellow card, has to watch himself. He clips inside, still going Shimada left-footed. He wants to uncork one. He lays it off to his left for Kobe Monty. Shuffle and a shake, gets to the byline. Monty puts on the brakes. The acceleration and the stopping and starting of Monty, I would not want to have to defend him, and I think VIU just sussed it out well. If you can get him in packs of two, much easier to hold on to the slippery Kobe Monty, who, like you said, you just can't put a leash on him. But things are kind of opening up now for VIU. I don't like this if I'm Langara. I might effort a David Rodriguez Zagara substitution if he can manage it, because they look like they're losing the midfield battle at the moment, and they're starting to lose 50-50 duels, which in the opening portion of the match they weren't really doing. Talarico now chests it up into the air. He can't win the second pieces. Omura loses his duel with Brown, and it'll be a it'll be a throw-in right by the far corner flag. I'm not sure what the delay is here. I think, is it Brown is just sizing up who to... No, it's not Brown. Size up who in the area. It actually landed on the feet of Brown. Spread to the left for Sang. His touch was just a dash too heavy. He was trying to set it up for himself on a half volley, but the ball wouldn't sit down for him. Nelson with a right-footed shot. Oh my goodness. Heart and throat moments there, as it was a tame shot, but it took a bit of an awkward hop on the 6-yard box, and it handcuffed Clark Ismail for a couple of seconds. And the mind just went to worst-case scenario there. Shimada keeps the ball alive for Langara. A lot of unforced errors now at the moment for the Langara Falcons. The passing isn't nearly as crisp as it was. They look a bit tired at the moment, and VIU are sussing that out, and they look like they've got a little extra pep in their step. Dadzi now. Crossing the area for Hopper! What a save there! Oh! Charlie Smith launched himself at it like a Scud missile, and if it wasn't for the fingertips of Clark Ismail, it's a level game. What a chance there from VIU, and well-deserved. They've been putting Langara's feet to the fire for this last couple of minutes, and the Falcons don't watch themselves. They could be on level terms here. Still plenty of time to play as well. What a diving header there from Charlie Smith. Here comes another bit of service. Langara are just allowing service cross after cross to come in the area. This time it's in the 6-yard box, and it's an easy claim for Clark Ismail, but Langara have to try and get some rhythm or a foot down. Kobe Monty looks like he's offside, but the referee says he's on. Flag stays down. Kobe Monty dragged back from behind. That might be a red card, and indeed it will be. You know, I wondered, would the flag go up? It looked like Kobe Monty was slightly offside, and I think it was the other player, Cafaro, who was closest to it. And I didn't see the player who was judged to be the culprit there. He's ripped off his shirt almost immediately, so he's ready to hit the baths. I'll try and suss out what name isn't on the park after we see the subsequent free kick here. It's just outside the 18-yard box. You know, I think they had it dealt with there. I don't think Monty was in enough free space where he was going to uncork a shot there. Like I said, I think McCall and Cafaro were in the neck of the woods, and you know what? I'd love to see the play again, because the linesman was at the halfway line when that ball was pinged, and he wasn't in line with Kobe Monty. He was chasing Kobe Monty up the park, and I think that flag should have gone up. That looked offside to me, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. Nonetheless, VIU's battle, just when it seemed like they might get on equal terms, becomes a little bit tougher. They're down to 10 men now after their center back has been sent off. Nakanishi stands over this one. Omura, right-footed shot. Good stop there by Marko Ilic as he managed to bend it around the wall, did Omura, but the keeper Ilic had that portion of the net covered and is able to palm it around for a... Is it a deep throw-in? Yes, it is, for Zion Adlam. Cafaro tries to loop it up to himself, and now a back heel into the 6-yard box. That's headed clear by Grez Kazuki. Adlam back in to win it, though. He gets clipped. The referee says play on. It breaks for Dadzi. He's being chased by orange shirts, Dadzi. Oh, and he gets between two. Oh, and almost gets between three. Amagu Sanchez just puts up the block in the nick of time. Unfortunate for Dadzi, and it's been one of those nights. He had a really good chance in that first half that was saved, smacked off the post. Whatever happened to it, it didn't go in the back of the net. He's been busy today, Dadzi. He's done a lot of the physical work. And unfortunately for the Mariners, it's so unfortunate. Just when they were in the ascendancy and it looked like they might get an equalizer, it's a long diagonal ball that undoes them, and Kobe Monty, who's been a real handful for them, inflicts a bit more pain. Out-of-town scoreboard. Douglas still up on Capilano 1-0. 15 minutes to go in that one. Ball over the top for Cafaro. He tried to chest it down in his stride, which would have been a very tough ask. Thankfully for him, Shimada's won it back. Shimada now gets through one, gets through two. Nakanishi will fly in to keep the second wave alive in the right channel for Adlam. Forward for Cafaro. He's onside Cafaro. If he can get it across, he cuts into the inside of the substitute, Gutierrez, but just couldn't get it back to Shimada. And it's another throw-in for the men in orange. Yeah, I'd love to see a replay of that Kobe Monty red card there. I beg your pardon, the VIU defender getting a red card for dragging back Kobe Monty, because serious doubts around that offside call. I think that flag has to go up. So I feel for the Mariners. I'm willing to be proven wrong on a replay, but from this vantage point, with the linesman chasing Kobe Monty up the park, yeesh, I think VIU might feel a bit hard done by. Ball cut back to the top of the area. It's Iwasaki who tried to scoop it into the top corner. He was teed up nicely by Nakanishi. It was well weighted too. He had time to step through it if he wanted to, but he just tried to guide it into that top right portion of Illich's net, and it just didn't get there. Brown lifts one in the left channel. It's a vertical ball dealt with by Adlam. They get it up the park to Langara, but they're not able to keep it alive. And VIU will have another crack. I know they're down to 10 men, but there's only one goal between these two. And if they can storm up the park or get another bit of set-piece service, the Mariners, the Langara Falcons might be left to rue their chances. Shimada, who has to watch himself, he's already got a yellow card for hanging on to the shirt, and he almost got a second there. Charlie Smith in a duel with Omura there, cleared by Sanchez. Ooh, that's a risky ball in for Gutierrez, but he did well under pressure to split the wickets of Nakanishi and keep it alive for Hopper. Ball in the channel for Smith, who is adjudged to have been offside. Dadzi tries to uncork a shot and catch Nakanishi slightly napping, but it comes off the shins of the number 7 from Japan, and it'll be a corner kick, and this could be danger for Langara as VIU make their way towards their area. Ball clears the width of the area. Dadzi's chase it down the width of the area as well. Of course, this is our second of our PACWEST doubleheader. The Langara women fell to the VIU women, the reigning champs, 3-0 earlier in the day. That puts VIU top of the table on 18 points. Langara second on 13. Douglas were victorious over Capilano. That puts them on 7 points. Capilano, meanwhile, on 3 points. So there'll be a scrap between the top two for that bye, VIU and Langara, and then Douglas and Capilano will probably joust it out to see who will be on the outside looking in the women's division. VIU now floating across to the back post again. It's Dadzi there. Falls clear for Gutierrez. He has a lash. It's charged down. And just the guy you don't want to see on the end of it rushing up the park is Kobe Monty. He's got a head full of steam. Clips it across for, I believe it's Omura. Takes a touch. Left-footed. He puts it over the bar. He was trying to lift it over the on-rushing keeper, Illich, who did just enough to force Omura into that shot. But that was danger, danger, danger for VIU, who looked like they might be getting the goal, but One deflected shot and a Kobe Monty rush the other way, and it looked like they might be done and dusted in the 75th. End-to-end stuff. It's been a very entertaining match here today between VIU and Langara. The scoreboard reflects every little bit of entertainment that's been in this one. Gutierrez in for Sang, the substitute, but Omura does ever so well just to skip away from him and play the ball to the touchline. Kobe Monty pushed over from behind. It'll be a foul. We're going to have a substitution here for VIU. They're going to bring in their number 9, Armin Sadhu, and he will replace Dadzi, Maxwell Dadzi, the number 14. Out-of-town scoreboard looking Douglas still clinging on to that 1-0 lead over Capilano. Less than 10 minutes to play there, as all of a sudden the clouds and a slight chill and wind have dropped over the Langley Event Center now, and what was a perfect little early fall for soccer has become a perfect night to go in and make something in the crock pot, if you ask me. Long diagonal finds Shimada onside. Carrying on his right, now back to his left. Great ball, square for Iwasaki. He takes a two-hander, gets up, ball flies loose, cleared by Hopper. Still not cleared, though. Nakanishi has a blast. And that works its way to the top of the area. VIU just looking to settle this one. It won't really stay along the ground, and I think McCall's going to get a stern talking to and a yellow card there after barging into his man, Gutierrez. 14 minutes to go here for VIU to try and claim an equalizer. 10 men VIU after they saw one of their central defenders sent back for a last man back foul on Kobe Monty about, 10 minutes ago. But it hasn't really affected them. They haven't had to bunker or defend any Langara presses. Charlie Smith gets them from behind. Referee plays advantage. Armin Sadhu, right-footed shot. He kind of scraped at that one, and it didn't have a lot of weight on it. And it was carrying away from the right-hand post of Clark Ismail. Good effort, though, from the number 9, the substitute, Sadhu. Heap of white shirts in the middle of the park, almost win it down. Shimada now is in a bit of a dogfight. He gets away from Nelson. McCall forward for Iwasaki, offside. Whew, and that was close. I thought Iwasaki had just tucked himself in there at the last second. Good effort from McCall. Adlam knocks the header down for Shimada. Adlam over the head of Sadhu and Shimada. Luca Cafaro had Hopper and Brown draped on him, and he just couldn't shake them, and the referee wasn't going for a foul, and Mark Rizzardo was slightly perturbed. Good take, and an even better ball to Sadhu. Great switch of play there. Well, Sadhu rides the tackle of Shimada, who, once again, on a yellow card, has to really watch himself, Shimada. Sadhu gets away with it. It rolls out. I think it'll be a Langara throw, which I think might have come off a set of orange legs, so unfortunate for VIU. 10 minutes to go here. And now Mark Rizzardo is giving an earful to the 4th official after claiming that they're trying to play the wrong variety of football with young Luca Cafaro. I think more of the American variety, or perhaps the Australian rugby variety, is what Mark Rizzardo was trying to illustrate to the official there. Ball bobbling around outside the 18-yard box. And this could be a break for Langara. Iwasaki could have gotten it into the path of Cafaro, but it was just played way too centrally, and Declan Brown comes away with it. Out-of-town scoreboard watching. Douglas double their pleasure. They're now up 2-0 on Capilano, which brings them level on points with Cap in the middle of the table. So they would both sit on 10 points, each with 3 wins, a draw, and 3 losses. If that result is to hold, less than 5 minutes to go there, you feel Douglas will hang on. And if this result holds here, that does tons of favors for Langara, who themselves would go 6 points clear over both Douglas and Capilano. And Kobe Monty needs to watch himself there. He boots the ball away in front of the visiting VIU support, no less, so he might not get away with that one. Some vocal opposition there that I think might inform the referee of what took place. Ball misplaced, looking for Gutierrez, but it was just a couple yards either side of the number 8. Cafaro does well to wrestle the ball away from Nelson. And Nelson just hung on to the wrist far too long there on Cafaro. It looked like he wanted to take him for a walk there. And the referee saw that and brings the advantage back. Langara will tick some time off the clock. Less than 8 minutes to go here, as we're in the 82nd minute for VIU to possibly, against all odds, 10 men. Can they get the equalizer against top of the table Langara? Monty tries to dummy his man. Clever through ball for Charlie Smith. He just tried to put the big long right peg on it and try and poke it past Omura, but he was just a step late to that dance. Nelson puts in a long, raking, floated cross. Charlie Smith there. He knocks it down for Sadu. Can Sadu retrieve it and get a shot away to the top of the box? This is sizing up nicely. Will Hopper get a shot away? He does! Ooh. That had some serious mustard on the end of it, and it came off the instep of, I want to say it was Shimada, and it just took enough sting on it, but by the time you saw it flash into Clark Ishmael's hands, that had some serious purchase behind it. So you just wonder if Hopper was able to get that shot away unobstructed. Might have really troubled Clark Ishmael. We're going to see a substitution here. It'll be Luca Cafaro coming off, and entering will be the physically minded Hunter Hedges, number 28. Loves himself a good crash and bash. Substitution upcoming for VIU as well, who might throw the last bit of energy at this affair. It'll be Calum Lidstrom from Campbell River. It's unfortunately going to be Hopper, who just went down with a bit of cramp, and I think that'll be his marching paces here. He'll be off for a salt tablet and an early shower. And Lindstrom now into this one. The substitute, number 22. Hunter Hedges wins the header against Armin Sadu. Unfortunately for Hedges, it comes off his curly hair and right into the waiting arms of Mark Rosardo. It'll be a throw-in for VIU. Langara in their all-orange strips, which they rock once a year. And of course, that's in anticipation of the National Truth and Reconciliation Day. The Snoelith Lelum kits, as Langara calls them. In 2016, the Musqueam people honored Langara with the name Snoelith Lelum. House of Teachings, it means, in reference to the advice given to a child to build their character and guide them into adulthood. So the usual Falcons orange taking on a new meaning ahead of Truth and Reconciliation Day here across the nation. VIU, meanwhile, in their crisp white kits, black shorts, black trim, head to toe. They're playing from right to left. Langara in all orange, playing from left to right. If you're just joining us in these late stages, you've missed a heck of a matchup here. It's been a barn burner, end-to-end stuff. Langara have goals from Bajgare, Monte, and Shimada, while VIU have kept them honest. Horvath and Smith have the goals for them. They've also had a player sent off as well. So busy day for the statisticians, the box score people, whoever's working the stat sheet at the halfway line. They'll be burning up a storm with their ink, as plenty has gone down into this one as far as talking points and the timeline of play-by-play. Less than a minute to go between Douglas and Capilano, and it looks like the Royals will see out that 2-0 result, which once again, if this result stays, very positive for Langara down the stretch. Smith, who's usually the man receiving the crosses, he's looping one in for number 7, Sang. It's headed clear by Talarico, and Gutierrez chases it the width of the park. Just over 4 minutes here for the Mariners to get a point against all odds, and they're knocking at the door right now. Langara are on their heels. What a right-footed shot that was. It was Connor Nelson who absolutely put the laces through that one from about 30 yards out, and if Athlete of the Week Clark Ismail wasn't able to claim that one cleanly, that was a palm down right into the naughty area. It was really tidy keeping there by Clark Ismail on a frozen rope of an absolute belter of a shot from Nelson. Brown now for Charlie Smith. VIU are looking lively here. Armin Sadu has that ball cleared. Charlie Smith will retrieve it, will he? No, he'll shield it out for a throw-in. All hands on deck now for Langara, as pretty much everybody is in the first yard to 25th yard in the Langara defensive end. Grez Kazuki afforded a bit of space, but now he's in trouble. Oh, Hunter Hedges was just a bit behind the chase there against Grez Kazuki, who thankfully for the number 5 in the VIU shirt, he had been dispossessed right in the worst possible time. He managed to make amends and scamper back into position. Charlie Smith hangs the big right leg, but all he can do is win a throw in the way of Langara. Nelson. Hounded by Shimada, but he manages to get rid of it just in the nick of time. Long aerial ball right up Main Street, headed down by Amagu Sanchez, but once again Langara struggling to get to these second balls, and VIU keep it alive for themselves in the orange half of play. Another long aerial ball right up the middle of the park, side-footed away by Amagu Sanchez. At the moment, Langara are struggling to keep the ball. It'll probably be in their best interest to just keep the ball, wind down the clock, and just try and take VIU out of it. They are a man down, but at the moment, it's just wave after wave of launched ball forward, and unfortunately for Langara, they're just giving it right back to them. Good play there by Nelson. Taking quick. Owen Sang's dispossessed there by Shimada, who shirks one, shirks two. Hunter Hedges is going to have to go this alone. He doesn't have a ton of options. I think he's going to try and spray a ball across for Kobe Monte. No, he actually stands on it. Good play there by Hedges. Top of the area, looking for Iwasaki. He had Nakanishi short, who's throwing up his hands in protest. And now all of a sudden we have a counterattack on our hands as Langara committed numbers forwards. Brown loops it into the back post. The substitute has it. Left-footed cross is just too tame from Lindstrom, who had actually gotten himself into a really good position at the back post. He had Charlie Smith sucking into the penalty dot, waiting for that cutback ball, but Lindstrom just took it a bit too early, and he just took it a bit too light. And unfortunately, it didn't really trouble the keeper. Substitution upcoming here for Langara. It's going to be number 14, Giorgio Sacchi, to come on. More offensively minded. Nakanishi tries to just thump it clear instead of taking a touch down. And VIU will retrieve the ball. We're now into the 90th minute. And we'll hopefully wait to hear an announcement of some added time. I can't imagine it's a ton. Monty wins the ball back. McCall, I thought he was going to uncork one there for 40 yards, and I thought, you know what, go on, have a rip, son. Oh, Armin Sadu just gets a two-hander on the back of McCall. And now McCall will take that opportunity to just burn a bit of the clock here. Armin Sadu will be forced to chase the ball, and McCall, who's just prone on his backside, won't get up with any great haste, which gives the chance for a substitution. Shimada will come off, and Giorgio Sacchi will come on. Free kick right along the touchline. Just probably about 16 yards out, but pretty much right along the touchline, so might take something special here. And there's nobody inside the penalty box. It looks like Langara, I'm just going to keep this ball, and I'm not surprised. Tyler McCall waits on a set of white shirts to converge around him, and it actually opens up for Hunter Hedges. Left-footed shot by Kobe Monty. Well-placed one, too, as well. And this might be the last kick of the can here for VIU, who are busting a gut to get forward. Brown tried to split the wickets for Gutierrez. It just was picked off by Osachi, but Osachi himself can't retrieve it. And now this might be the last kick of the can for VIU, who launch a left-footed ball into the penalty box. Armin Sadu is in the vicinity. Right-footed shot right at Clark Ismail from Gutierrez. They knew time was of the essence, VIU, so it was a quick knockdown and then a quick snatch shot, which from that range and with not a ton of purchase on it, wasn't really going to trouble Clark Ismail. Full time between Douglas and Capilano. It's a 2-0 victory for the Royals, which, once again, if this result holds, that's about as good as a Saturday afternoon that Langara could have hoped for. I mean, minus conceding 2 goals. I don't think anybody wants to concede 2 goals at home, but a victory will do them just fine. Clearance from Nelson, VIU. A foul, and played quickly by Sadu. Lindstrom skips away from one tackle, skips away from 2. Nakanishi blasts it into the parking lot. Brown busting a gut to get there ahead of Talarico. Oh, and he just stepped on at the worst possible moment. That's unfortunate. Is the referee blown for a foul? No, the referee has pointed towards the center circle, and that will be a hard-fought victory for Langara, who, yes, they had 2 2-goal leads, almost taken away from them by a very plucky VIU squad, but just when it seemed like they would break, they held on for dear life and brought home the 3 points. It's a character victory for Langara, but it's also a big character performance from VIU, who, despite being a man down, despite not measuring up in the standings this season, have never backed down in any of their affairs, and you feel should be doing a bit better than they are in the standings. It's a fantastic, entertaining game of soccer for a neutral to watch, it has to be said. It is a final. Langara take care of business 3-2 over VIU. On the out-of-town scoreboard, the Douglas men were 2-0 victors over Capilano, which means, at the end of the day, Langara sit top of the table on 16 points. Capilano and Douglas both middle of the table on 10 points, on 3 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. VIU remain foot of the table, 1 win, 1 draw, 5 losses for 4 points. The early match in the doubleheader was the VIU women blanking the Langara women 3-0. That, coupled with a Douglas victory on the out-of-town scoreboard, means that VIU are in sole possession still of the top standing in the standings on 18 points. Langara second on 13 points. Douglas third on 7 points. And Capilano rooted to the foot of the table on 3 points. We thank you very much for joining us here for the Langley Event Center. Another PACWEST doubleheader in the books from beautiful Langley, British Columbia, Canada. Action tomorrow and action in the following weekends as well. You can stay up to date with all the stats, scores, schedules, and so much more at pacwestbc.ca. Once again, the doubleheader in the books. Langara women drop a 3-0 decision to VIU, and the Langara men avenge their lady counterparts with a 3-2 victory over VIU in the men's match. Big thanks for joining us here. My name's Corey Basso. Have a good evening and a good weekend from the Langley Event Center, PACWEST style.